Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's video we're going to be continuing our story on the full Bible, the Action Bible, reading front to back. Last week we learned about how they, their languages change and they end up splitting off into different areas. And we also learned about Job and everything he went through. Today we're going to be reading these two pages right here. It's going to be called God's Calls Abram, which is Abram right now, and eventually changed to Abraham. But for right now, it's just going to be Abram. It's based on Genesis chapter 11, verse through 12. Many years pass. People forget about God who created them. They move down the Euphrates River and build the great trading city of or Ur, maybe. I'll just say Ur for now. Ur is a land of plenty with plenty of different gods, but the one true God speaks to a young man named Abram. Sarah, God has spoken to me. He said to leave my father's family, my country, and my false gods of Ur behind me. He said to travel to a land that he will show me. There he will make our family a great nation, and all the people on the earth will be blessed through me. Abram, why are you out here in the middle of... So she asked him why you're out here in the middle of the night, and then he said all that. So God has chosen him, so he leaves his parents. He leaves this, nation that is filled with, basically people serving false gods, to set out on and find a, new place to start, raising up more people that, based on, the beliefs on our actual God, the one and only, and to, start his own nation type of thing. It will be scary to leave everything we know and our family, but we will trust the Lord to keep his promise. How do you think your father will take the news? Not well. Abram can't leave me behind in my old age, and Lot, you're his nephew. Since your father is dead, it's Abraham's responsibility to take care of you too. We're going with him. So, he thought he's far too old, to be able to, take care of, his things and, growing food and, their animals and all that. He needed Abram's help, since, Lot's father had died. So, that left Abraham to be the responsible one to take care of him. So he's like, no, we're going with him. So Abraham obeys God by leaving Ur, but he disobeys God by not leaving his old life behind. His father, Terah, comes along, bringing his many idols with him. So on top of, he obeyed God by leaving that area, but he disobeyed God by, not leaving his father behind. Because his father, as it just said, took many idols with him, was, very, he was believing in lots of other different idols. Seriously, Abram, it's a lot better to worship all the gods. That way you don't offend one by leaving him out. So that's why they said they had all kinds of gods that people have created. And, he was basically just doing them all. They worship them all, like, they, even in Greek, they have, like, Zeus and Hercules and all these guys, all these type of different gods that, stand for something. Well, there's one true God that stands for all. And, that's the one you should be serving. Worshipping other gods offends the one true God. So you are saying he's selfish? So that's how he, he says, and, so you're saying he's selfish, basically, like, he still believes that there are a whole bunch of other gods, and that's not what he's saying. What he's saying is these other gods are not real. They do not exist. They're fake. They're just a piece of metal or wood. They do not exist. But the one true God does. Jesus Christ does. He's alive. He's sitting on the throne in heaven. He's, out there waiting for you to call upon him, waiting for you to ask for his help. All you have to do is, cry out to him. God leads Terah, Abram, and the rest of their families to the rich land of Haran. Even though the land is beautiful and fertile, God does not want them to settle there. But Terah loves this new land and wants to retire there. Out of respect for his father, Abram stays in Haran, putting off the pursuit of God's promises. So instead of listening to God, because his father wanted to retire there, that's where they settle instead of going where God wanted to take him. One day, Terah dies. Abram is now the head of the tribe. He immediately takes charge. Load up the animals. What are your plans for the tribe, Master? God has called me to take my family and leave Haran. I will continue to seek his family, his promised land. I'm with you, Uncle Abram, as Lot, says to him. Abram leads his tribe through the surrounding lands for several years. He and his extended family lived the life of wandering nomads. But then a famine sweeps through the land. Abram doesn't have enough food to, doesn't have enough food to support his tribe. He decides his only choice is to lead the people to Egypt, a powerful nation with plenty of food. But he has some fears about his plan. Sarah, you are the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. I'm afraid that when Pharaoh sees you, he will fall in love with you. Since I'm your husband, he'll kill me so that he can marry you. We must pretend to be brother and sister. That sounds very unlikely, but I'll do what you ask. So his wife, Sarah, was a very beautiful woman, probably one of the most beautiful of this day. And he, he was afraid when, who was it? When Pharaoh sees him or whatever, that, he'll fall in love and he'll want, to wife her basically. And, Abram was afraid that he would kill him if he knew he was the husband. But Abram's prediction comes true. Pharaoh falls for Sarah's loveliness. Thinking Abram is her brother, Pharaoh gives him lots of money and gifts and asks for Sarah to be his wife. But before Pharaoh can marry her, God intervenes to save his chosen family. Plagues. So God strikes the Egyptians with diseases so they will let Abram and Sarah go in peace. They gave Abram food and money and sent him and his family on their way. So, he did fall in love with her, and he was thinking that Abram was his brother. He gave him lots of money and food, and basically wanted that way he can marry Sarah. But God put diseases in there that way they would let them be on their way. Thankfully for their close escape, Abram and Sarah realized how foolish their plan was. Sarah, forgive me. I did not seek God's help. I was a coward and trusted in my own plots to save us. I forgive you, my husband. For now on, I will trust God. I can only pray that he forgives me. So, here's where many of us fail. Instead of trusting God like we should, a lot of us turn away, get afraid, let our anxiety take the better of us, and, try to, run away or hide or whatever it is from the problems. Instead, we should turn and seek God and trust him and have faith and pray to him. And, he will take care of us. I'm sure God's forgiveness, I'm sure God forgives you, Abram. After all, he protected us in Egypt even when we forgot to trust him. I'll never try to outsmart God's plan for us again. I just hope this is the last time I have to pretend to be your sister. So next week we'll continue we'll continue Abram's story and see where it leads us next. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you learned something new. And as always, take it easy, and I'll catch you guys next week.